Welcome to the second part of this series. In this part, we're adding the windows and doors. And before I forget, let me correct something from the first part. Okay, so the last time, the dimensions we have there, is it? Okay, yeah, here you are. So it's supposed to be 0.4, but I only use 0.2, which is just this one here as 0.2. So what I would have done, well, to correct it, I just have to manually do it like this, and then I'll just, I have to fill in a face, voila. So there you go. That's one. Another is this one. From the reference, we could see that, can you see this slight indentation like this? Still, let's see, I think the pictures might show us better. Yeah, can you see? I think there's something, there's just a tad, there's something around there. So what I did was that I will apply the solidify modifier. Make sure you're in object mode. So I will apply the solidify modifier, and then let's just hide the array modifier for now. So while it is selected, I'll go to face, edit mode, fix selection mode, and the dimension they gave us, this is 0.2, right? Rather 0.02. So I'm just going to press I to insert the third, and then E to extrude, and 0.02. I think this, let's see. Yep, 0.02. So I can go back to my object mode and then turn on the array modifier, and then I'll make sure my Z is 1. Voila. And then another thing to check out is this yellow stuff too in front of the house. Okay, so to fix that, or should we do the window first before fixing it? Well, let's just fix that now. I'll select the main wall, go to edit mode, add in add in the loop cuts, and from the PDF, the distance for it is 0.05. Okay, so I will add in another loop cut and then slide it there, GY.05. Okay, so this is it. So I'll select this. Okay. Oh, let me just add in the loop cuts, then just snap it there. Right. So I'll select this face, shift it to duplicate, piece, separate by selection. Now select the main one, but the main wall. Go to edit mode. I don't want this, I'm taking it out. And I don't want any of these two, so I'm taking it out. So back to, that's our duplication. Okay. So I'll select it, turn on solidify modifier. The thickness I gave to us is 0.1. Yeah, 0.1. So solidify modifier, and then I'll just make it 0.1. But we can see that the thickness is going inside. As usual, you can select everything. Oh, let me just show you. Let's turn on face orientation and turn it off. Okay. You can see it's facing inside. The red is facing inside. So can go to edit mode and flip it. So let's continue with this, and then let's add in the array modifier. This time around, we are going to the Y. So X is going to be 0 and Y is going to be 1, or rather -1. Okay, but we can see that the distance that I gave to us from the PDF document, the distance, I said this is 0.05. So we cannot really tell the amount of bricks that are there, but from this picture, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If you want to be meticulous about that, you can use 11. I'm just going to go with the flow. I have to just move it a tad outside. Okay, voila. So after this, I'm going to put the solidify modifier under the array modifier, because I always tell you guys that modifiers have a hierarchy. Okay, though sometimes when you apply a modifier first before, like if the solidify is here, right, and I apply the array modifier, you see it gives a warning, though it might not cause any problem though, but sometimes it might cause you problems. So let's just go back. I want to apply the array modifier, so let me just put it up first and then apply the array modifier. Now I can go to edit mode, turn off the solidify modifier. Now I'm going to I'm in face selection mode, so now I'm going to select faces like this. Yep. So X, delete faces, back to object mode. Now enable solidify modifier. Nice. Okay, so let's add in the windows and doors. For the windows and doors, we're going to use a free plugin that comes with Blender, the Archimesh add-on. So if you don't have it enabled, you can go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and search for Archimesh, and make sure this checkbox is clicked to enable it. Okay, so with that, press your N if it's not enabled, your N panel, which is the side panel, and then go to items. Please make sure you're in object mode. Okay, and then you go to create, you see Archimesh. So we're not going to be using the door function, or rather the door, because from our reference you can see that the front door is a sliding door. So for this sliding door, we're going to be using, instead of the door from the Archimesh, we'll be using the rail window, because it gives us the look and feel of the sliding doors. Okay, so another thing you should take note of is your when you click on any of all this stuff from the Archimesh, it pops up wherever your cursor is. So make sure your cursor is close to your work, so that you'll not be zooming out, so be looking for wherever your mesh pop up in. Another thing you can do, you can click on the cursor tool and then select any place you want the mesh to pop up from. Okay, or you can just reset your cursor, your 3D cursor, with Shift C. You can press Shift S, cursor to world origin, same thing. Okay, so let's proceed with the door. So for this one, I'm going to be adding the rail windows, and you see it's here. I want to be seeing mesh when it comes out. Okay, so I'm going to snap my cursor. So I'm going to snap my cursor to this particular point. Okay, so that whenever I add the rail windows or the door, is going to pop up in this place. Okay, then I can do my adjustments. Another thing, I like arranging my scene. So inside this building collection, I'm going to create a new folder, and I will call it Windows _ doors. I'll just put W_D. So windows and doors. Okay, so I'll make sure it's selected, and then I'm going to click on the rail window. And for the Archimesh add-on, under display int, I'm going to click on show, so it will show the measurements. Okay, from our document, the front door is 2.2, and then the height is also 2.2. Okay, so we're going to do that. We don't want the seal. Let's see. I should explain something. So for the Archimesh add-on, if you click on any other parts of the add-on, you won't be getting the properties to edit the height or the width of the windows. Okay, so to be able to edit that, you need to click on the frame of the window. Same thing for the doors. When we get to the doors, you will see that. So you need to click on the frame. So when you click on the frame, you will see that these options to edit the width and the height and the depth are going to pop up. Okay, another thing I've noticed is that when I'm in Eevee and I import this window, the materials, because under here it says create default cycles materials. Okay, so the glass material is not being created. So to be able to make sure that it's created, like it's added automatically, we need to be in cycles. So we have to delete this guy again, and then let's add in the real windows. Now do you see the difference? So now this slides, this bluish something here, it shows that it is a glass. Okay, so let's edit the windows door, or using it for the door. Okay, so you click on the frame, and then the height is set to be 2.2, and then the width to be 2.2 as well. So here you go. I don't want the seal. This seal is this one here. I don't want it. When you have done that, to be able to move our window to where we have the front door, we'll click on this empty over here. Now, when we add in the real window, it comes in a group like this, and this group, everything, the window, the frame, and everything is parented to this empty that you're seeing here. So if we want to move this window, we have to make sure we're clicking on the empty to be able to move across. Okay, and then another thing again, if you look, we see have another box called the control hole, which is this box surrounding the window, and then we have the window frame. If you open it, and if you expand it, you see we have left and right. Okay, that was created for us. I'm just showing you all that. Okay, so to move the window, I'll click on the empty. Let me turn on my wireframe overlays so that I'll see what I'm going to. So I'll click on the empty, G, Z, and then I'll just snap it down there. And I need to rotate the door. Okay, so I'll click on the frame, and then under rotation, I'll type 90. So click on the empty again, and then 7 to go to topographic view, and then I'll go to my wireframe view by pressing Shift Z to tap in out of wireframe view, or you can just hold down Z, and then you can go to solid or wireframe as the case may be. So here you are. I'm going to move it to put it somewhere around here. You can see that it does not match with let's just show you. It does not match with our reference, because remember that from the document, this part is saying 2.2, but what we have from the detailed floor plan, it says 2.4. Okay, I think, to me, I feel the 2.4 is an allocation for maybe the frame of the doors. Okay, so let's just switch back. I have to move it outside. Okay, so I'll click on the panel, and then let's just add, this is the width, so 2.4. Okay, cool. So select the empty, back to top orthographic view, and then let's see. Now it fits perfectly. So I'll click on the walls, and then enable the thickness. So now select the empty, top orthographic view, and let's just put the door, just eyeball it. Nice. So now to cut a hole through the mesh so that we can see what we've positioned, we need to add in the Boolean modifier. So I'm going to show you a nice trick, because if we want to cut holes for every windows and doors around the house, it means that we're going to keep adding Boolean modifier for each and every hole we're going to be cutting. Okay, so there's a way to solve that problem, which is I will click on the main walls. Now I'm going to add in the Boolean modifier. Okay, now from my outliner, I'll click on the buildings, and then I'm going to add a new collection, and I'll name the collection cutters. Okay, I can right click and then just give it any color of my choice, so that's just for organization's sake. While the main wall is selected, the Boolean modifier, okay, so I will switch my operand type to collection. Okay, are you with me? And then the control hole of the door of the real window, remember this control hole. Okay, this particular one, I'm going to select it, and then I'll press M, which is to move, and then I'll move it to the cutters collection. Okay, now I'll select the wall, and then I'll target that cutters collection. Voila, you see, Boolean. Do you understand? Yes, you do. So let's proceed to the front window. Okay, so for the front window, the dimensions we have, 1 meter, and then the height is 1.6, go to my end panel, and I'll make sure that I'm in my windows and doors collection and not in the cutters collection. Okay, now select the windows and doors. Maybe I will just give it another color so that I'll know that, okay, windows and doors. And then I'll click on the real window, you see, and then I'll disable the seal. Then on the seal, we have the height to be 1.6 and then the width to be just 1. And this time around, we don't want the sliding windows, a single leaf. Okay. And now this external frame, let's turn it off. And then rotation, let's do, yeah, 90 works. Okay, so if we select the empty and then snap it, I'm trying to snap there, then I'm going to move it this way. From our documentation, the as plan, from this place up, right, is 0.6. So I'm going to press GZ 0.6. And if you check it, you see it's matched perfectly with the doors. And then let's just position. You see, same thing we have here. Okay, one thing you should take note of, that this control all object should be able to cut, like you should be able to see it cut through the wall. If not, your Boolean operation is not going to work. Okay, so I want to explain something. If I'm to open the windows, you know what? Let me drag it out. So I feel there's something wrong with the Archimesh plugin, because when I enable the external frames, okay, and then the seal, this seal, it means that this is supposed to be inside of the building, and then this external frame is just, okay, let me switch to, let's do 270. Okay, so it means that let me select this empty. It means that it ought to be something around like this. Okay, but you cannot have the handles of your windows outside your apps, right? It does not make sense, right? So what we're going to do then, I'm just going to like turn off external frames, turn off the seal, turn off the handles, and then let's just put it in. Okay, so now I can 7, and then let's just adjust it somewhere around here. But I said that the control O needs to be visible in both sides. If it's not visible, you can select it and just move it a bit, or you can go to edit mode and just scale it out some more. Okay, so now for the control O object, remember, select it, press M to move, and then move it to the cutters. Okay, so I'm going to speed through adding the windows all around the house. Okay. Oh, before I do that, I want to explain something for you. So I think in Blender 4.2 and above, when you double click on object like this, it's going to select everything within that collection. Okay, let's see. You see? Or if it does not, maybe if you're using an older version of Blender, you can just select it once, right click and do select hierarchy. It's the same thing. You select everything about that collection. So, and this time we want to duplicate the windows that we've already added, like this windows. Okay, so let's press Shift to duplicate, right? And then let's move it around here because we want to put the window for here. And the dimension given, you can see 0.6 and 1.6. Okay, so once again, select the window frame, and if it's not open, for your side panel, and then height is 1.6, the width is 0.6. Okay, nice. One good thing in using this method like this duplicating is because remember that we've already moved this window, this control O, we've already moved it into this particular folder, but right now it's not here. I will show you another trick on how to get it. So I'm going to ignore that. So let's proceed with it. So select the frame, and then this time around, don't want it rotated. So 0, right. So 7 topographic view, select the empty, and then just position it. Okay, this is good. So now I'm going to speed through Okay, so this time around we'll be using the panel window and not the rail window. The dimensions we have is 2.2 and 1.6 as usual. Count is 3. So for the rail window, I don't like using the seal and the inner frame, turn it to PVC. I don't want any of those. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, we can see that the middle is bigger than the two sides, right? This is the problem. This is it. So if you make the values the same, you see, everything will be equal. So now the only issue I'm having with this panel window is trying to get it to fit the dimensions accurately. So from here, we have it to be 1.6 and 2.2. So now I have to like manually try and get the values that is going to make this 2.2 and this 1.6. Okay. So let's see, 63. Okay, so 150, 70, 70, 70 works fine for this. So select the empty. Then I'm just gonna snap it here. Remember, from the ground up is 0.6. Yep. And then save orthographic view, top orthographic view, and then just really position it. Don't have to be meticulous about it. So now we can see that from the floor plan and from the window we have, the window is wider than the floor plan. Okay, so that means we can just tweak the values. Let's drag it out. So let's just tweak the values. Let's do 65, 65, 65. Just a bit. We can ignore it instead of trying to tweak the values all the time. 0.6, correct. Match with the doors, correct. And then for the control all object, let's come to the window group, select the control all, and then this mode, let's scale it out so that it's going to be bigger than the thickness of the walls. Nice. Remember to save your work, guys. And then for this one, same drill. So I'm just going to select this one, right click, select hierarchy, or you can just double click. Okay, shift it to duplicate, and then let's snap it around here. And then let's move it there, and then let's tweak the height. Let's move it out a bit. Okay, so let's tweak the height. The height is this is 0.9 from ground, and then this 0.6, the same, dimension with this. So we're just bothered about the height. So select the panels. I visit panels. Okay, so let's just nice. And then we can first of all snap it down there. GZ. Okay, cool. And then GZ 0.9. Photographic view, wireframe view, and then let's position it around here. Once again, the control all object, select it, edit mode, and then scale it out. Very necessary. Save your work, guys. And then the window for the bathroom is 1.4 meters from ground. It's just a single one. We can also take the panel window, or we can just Shift S, so to select it, and then let's add in a rear window. It's right there. Select the empty and drag it out. Okay. First of all, I want to snap it down. Let's drag it out so we can see it. So select the frame, turn it to single leaf, as usual, turn off external frame, turn off the seal, and turn off the handles. We will not be seeing that. The dimension for it is 0.8 by 0.8. So 0.8 by 0.8. Awesome. So from the ground up is GZ 0.4. Okay, so 7 topographic view, and then let's position it. Okay, are there any windows anywhere? Let's check the plan. Yep, the back. There's still one window in the back, and then we need to add the doors. Okay, so let's add the window for the back, 1.61 meters. I think we can use this one, 1.61 meters. Yeah. So select your right click, select hierarchy, and then I'll just duplicate it and move it to the back. Top photographic view, and then just flip position it. Voila. You see? Okay, so next thing to do is the doors. Okay, once again, I want my cursor to be somewhere around here, and then I'm going to add in the door by clicking on the door now. So for this door, it comes with, let's check it out. See it? Yeah, door group. It comes with a baseboard, which is useless for us, but just leave it. The control hole, and then the door frame. This is the door frame. The door frame, when you expand it, it has the doors. Okay, it has the door, and then the door, the handles are parented to the door. Okay, so for the door, let's go to the item tab. You can see that the location is locked and the rotation XY is locked, leaving only Z, which means that we can only rotate in the Z axis. And the reason why we cannot move it is because the location is locked. Okay, which means that it's only the parent, which is the empty, this parent 2, that we can use to move the object. But be careful, if you click on the handle and move it, it's going to move. Okay, so just giving you a heads up. So select the empty. For the door, we have doors 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's just start with this one. So let's look for the dimension for it. I think that should be under cross section. Yeah, it's 0.75. Oh, this for the bathroom. 0.75. Yeah, D3 and D2. Oh, yeah. Go 0.9 and 2.2. Okay, so for the door, let's get the dimension first. Select the frame, go to create member, go to create Archimesh, hit open. You can switch, or you can use both sides if you like. Okay, we've not checked for this part. We'll check the side that is opening so that we can tweak the values accordingly. So, and then we have different handle types. I'll just stick with model 1, and then I'll just leave it in left open for now. So for the width, of it to be 0.9, and for the height, 2.2. Okay, so once again, select the empty. Let's go to 7, wireframe, and then let's move it somewhere around here. Again, select the frame, and we have to rotate it. I think 90 degrees for now should do. Let's check the floor plan and see the side is opening to. Open. This is wrong, which means that our opening should be right open. So let's see. Sorry, select the door. Aha, this is fine. Okay, so I'll select this, and then I'll just snap it down there to put it just like this. There's no particular way of putting this. I'm just going to use the thickness of the wall, rather the handle, to just, measure it. Okay, so there you go. So for the door, we can right click, select hierarchy, and then just duplicate and move it to the other side. Remember that from the plan, the W3 is different entirely. W3 is 0.75, okay? So we just need to make sure that we are selecting the frame, okay? And then 0.75. Let's see how it looks. Right. Okay, we need to switch the opening type. Select the frame, and then open side is left. Yep. Save your work. And then we have another door here, D2. So we're just going to borrow from this one. So make sure the control hole is passing through. Okay, save your work. So now I want to show you a nice tip, okay? So you can see that, remember that we have our Boolean modifier here and the collection, the quota collection. So how are we going to move all the O's, like all the control O's, the CTRL O's, all the O's to the quotas collection instead of just doing it one after the other, okay? But remember that for this one, when I selected everything, right, and I duplicated, because of this one was already inside of the proper collection, right? When I brought it to this other side, it worked perfectly. But if I had tampered with these settings, right? If I had what's the frame? Okay, if I had tampered with this setting, for example, I say the add-on is designed to reset itself, and the control all objects will automatically move away from the quota folder to this particular folder where it's parents, which is the empty. This empty is okay. So let's just Ctrl Z that for now. So for the tips I want to show you, I'll go select patterns, you see, and before you use this, make sure that you're not selecting anything. So I'll go to select patterns, and under the stars, I will just search for the word O's and then press star again. Where did my first star go? Okay. And then I'll press enter. You see, all the O's have been selected. Then I'll press M to move. And then voila. Oh, I forgot. This is the inner wall, and we've not added the solidify modifier, guys. So sorry, the Boolean modifier. Boolean, remember operand type collection, and then let's target the quotas collection. So let's see if it's working. Yeah, it is. Okay, nice. Save your work. So let's turn off the measurement. There you go, guys. Okay, so just a quick heads up, right? Remember that I told you I like organizing my things. So I created a collection for the windows and doors, right? And then for the quota collection, okay? And you should be careful that when you check your quotas collection, that we have only the control objects, and make sure that this collection is not selected when you are adding in any stuff, because when you do, it's going to cause a problem. Let's add in a cube, for example. I don't want to add anything from the Archimesh because I know it lags. Okay, you can see this one didn't take time, but if you like add from the Archimesh collection, right, from the Archimesh plugin, it's going to lag, and I don't want that. Okay, and then another thing you should take note of is this collection, right? So if peradventure maybe you selected the buildings collection or maybe the scene collection, okay, and then you add in maybe a door or something, you'll see that it is not in our windows and doors collection, neither in the quotas, like the control is not in the quota, it's just down here. And okay, if you're like you want to now move this to this folder, to this collection, and then you just select it and then you just move like this, you see those those meshes that is parented to the empty is not going to move. Only the empty is what is going to move. That was why I tell you that it's either you double click to make sure everything is selected. I think this is from 4.2 and above, right? Or you can just right click and select hierarchy to make sure you select everything. Same drill if you want to delete, maybe you added too many, like this door, I want to delete it because we're already done with adding everything, and I want to delete this door, for example. How do I do that? I can either double click to select everything, or I'll right click and this time delete hierarchy. Okay, so let's add this furnishing, which is fun, right? I'm just going to furnish maybe a single part of the house, either the living room or the bedroom, and then I'll let you do the rest because the plan gave us, everything that we need. Another thing you should take note of when furnishing is that some clients are very specific about how they want their buildings to be furnished. Okay, like for this one, you can see that we didn't put curtains and all that stuff, right? Some clients are going to be specific about the kind of curtains, the color of the curtains, the thickness of the curtains, how they want it to be beautiful and all that stuff, okay? But for this, let's just stick with what we have in this plan, okay? So you can make your furnishings if you choose that, but I wouldn't advise that because it's going to take you a while to achieve that. Or you can get individual assets from different websites, okay? We have fab.com, we have CD Trader, we have TurboSquid, BlendSwap, which is everything is free in BlendSwap, and then my all-time favorite, Polygon, right? You can, though they are not free, there are some free models that you can use. And then this one has a Blender add-on that you can use to just download stuff on directly from Blender. And also there's the Blender kit. This one too has a plugin. There's a Blender kit. You can get the plugin and install it directly from Blender and all that stuff. Apart from that, there are other various plugins. If you have the money to get it, there's like Interiors Essentials. You can get all this stuff even from the Blender market. You can, which is now Super Hive. Yeah, you can get all the stuff from there. Okay. One downside to assets is the size, like how dense the mesh can be. Okay, because sometimes the quality, mostly like from the Blender kit, for example, the mesh can be so dense because they want the resolution to be, they want the mesh to be very clean and neat. Okay, though if you know your stuff, after getting a model, you can, edit it and tweak it a bit to, have it more reduced and more optimized, because the more dense your mesh is, the more render time is going to take. And even while you are working and trying to position things in your 3D viewport, Blender might be lagging because Blender does not really handle many polygons count like that. And maybe if your laptop or your computer is not that powerful, surely you'll be lagging. Okay. And another thing is if you don't have the money and then you are going to like get the free assets, one problem is that sometimes you might not get a commercial license to it, which means that you cannot use it to make money. Okay. And then I also forgot, there is the Blender kit didn't load. There is also Sketchfab. There's Sketchfab, so you can get free assets from this. Okay, but for me, I already have a plugin called Interiors Essentials. You can get it from the Blender market, which is now Super Hive. Yeah, superhivemarket.com. So you can log in. Can't remember my password, whatever. Okay, so you can get the Interior Essentials from superhivemarket.com, but you can also search for free stuff from here. Okay, So I'm going to use my plugin to just texture as a texture. I'm going to use my plugin to design the bedroom, and then I will let you or rather, let me just do the living room, and then I'll let you look for assets online and do yours. Okay, so there's my end panel. Go to my interior essentials, and then I'll switch this to living room. This just have remote TV. Okay, cool. Let's go to furnitures. Okay, before I'm going to add any furnitures to my scene, under my building collection, I'm going to create a new folder or a new collection, and then I will just name it furniture. Okay, you can give it any color of your choice if you want to. So chairs, let's look for sofas. Well, speaking of sofas, if you have the money, you can also use the Substance. I think my subscription for Substance will soon expire. And then you can just search for sofas. You can subscribe to this if you have the money to do that. Yeah, so we have different kind of sofas. I have a lot downloaded. You can just download one from here. The only downside to this is that you have to texture it manually. Okay, that's why I will not recommend this for now, except if you know how to texture, then that's fine. So let's just use these interior essentials, or you can, search for some CD Trader, Sketchfab, and all that stuff. So I'm going to place on 3D cursor, and this is my cursor is. So I'll switch to the cursor to, and then I'll click here. So then my cursor is going to be here. Now I'm going to click on place on 3D cursor, and then switch back to the move tool. I'm just going to adjust it around there. I can scale if I want to, if I'm interested in doing that. Let's see how it looks like. This is kind of dense, but it's okay. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to edit it, you can do editable, and then you can add in. So let's edit this, and then you can add in the sofa. So 3D cursor, and at this time you can edit it. Okay, so if you want to reduce the mesh and all that stuff, you can do that if you want to. For now, I'm going to ignore that. Okay, and then we have different kind of sofas. What do we have next again? I think we have some, this, let's see, what's it called? I think shares, or rather armchairs. Yep. So let's add a random one, and then I'm going to rotate. I'm just showing you can, do better than this, and you can see this particular one is pretty dense, right? Yeah. See, pretty dense. But we're going to ignore that. I'm just showing you how to do that, and then this side tables. Or is it called? Is it coffee table? I don't know. Oh, let's put in the TV cabinet. Let's use this one, and then let's switch the cursor to here, and then let's place on 3D cursor. We'll have to rotate it the other way around, right? Let's see. Yep. And then we can also put in, let's switch to living room. See it. Living room, and then let's put in a TV. You can put in a TV, GZ. Let's rotate you. So when you are done adding your furnitures, always make sure to save your work. In fact, when you're adding the furnitures, always save your work, guys. Do not forget to save your work. So another thing you should take note of is if I should come here under statistics, you can see that I have 1.2, like in general, everything within my scene is 1.266 million count. If you have a good laptop, you can carry, or a good computer, that's fine. But when you don't have that kind of stuff, you should be looking for things with low poly counts. Remember, I told you guys about how to make it editable. Okay, yeah, look at these shares, for example. Now this is pretty dense. So yeah, that's a wrap. See you guys in the next one, where we are going to texture the buildings, the floors, and then put the roof for the building. Okay, so bye. See you in the next one, guys. Peace out.